wanted to give you a little bit of an update, a battery update on the Boox Palma 2. Since The Housemaid, I haven't found a Freida McFadden book that I have thoroughly been able to enjoy. So that's definitely gonna be an unpopular opinion. Hi friends, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Reid and welcome to the channel where we love to keep it cozy. Okay friends, so I wanted to give you a little bit of an update, a battery update on the Boox Palma 2. Something that people tend to ask about in general when it comes to their technology and e-readers. How long is that battery actually good for? And I wanted to look at my reading log here and just see when did I actually start reading. So if I can look at the log here, I will be able to tell you that right now it's at 15%. So I still have a little bit of time. Even with 15%, you can get a gauge, which I don't know how accurate this is, to be honest. It says expected to last for 3 more hours at 15%. So it's saying that I still have 3.5 hours left because I've basically been using the Palma for a few weeks now, at least. See here, I believe since the 23rd, and it is now what? It's been 2 weeks. Okay, so actually, I can tell y'all that I've at least done 4 books, one of them being Out of the Woods. The only thing about Libby is everything becomes available like at the same time, and like now I'm actually not ready. I've moved on to another book. I love Libby so much, but man, if we could stagger it out a little bit. I've really been wanting to listen to this one, The Listen for the Lie. It's so odd because I thought there was a way to look at your previous reads. What I can do is actually, let's take a look on the computer here and we can do the math. And most of these are at least 10 to 11 hours. I think there might be one that's like around 8 hours maybe, but that just gives you an idea. That's 4 books that I've read in 2 weeks, and I've already started a new book and it still hasn't died just yet, but I'm also currently, let's just add this because this also counts as well. I'm actually I'm about 27% into Hester, meaning I've done an additional 2.5 hours. So I'd be curious to see if I can get at least like 50% in to this book before it dies. And I'm literally using this until it dies because I am curious, like, okay, we have 14% left. Is that actually going to hold true? Is there another 3 hours? I'd be curious to see how accurate that is. But all in all, just to give you the stats, this has overall lasted for about 2 weeks. I've read 4+ books and listened to, and mostly all while using Bluetooth. I do turn off the Wi-Fi on this most of the time just because I was actually traveling, and so I did have the Wi-Fi off. Once I've downloaded my books, I don't normally have the Wi-Fi running just because I'm also trying to be mindful about the battery. Again, that's at least 40+ hours of audio time out of the 2 weeks. If I've done 4 books, that would be at least 12 days that I've also been really active using the Boox Palma, and then the rest of the time it's been on standby. So that's the battery update on our Boox Palma 2. And if you have questions about anything else in terms of usage or anything that you're curious about when it comes to this device, just let me know and I can probably do a short form video. But so far, this has been such a dream. Again, I was traveling, and so I thought that this was, of course, so handy. back. I wanted to talk about the books that I read for the month of March. I have a good lineup for y'all. There are definitely a few good thrillers that I want to share. We did 6 books in the month of March. Oh, by the way, I did get this tote for my birthday. Is it not the cutest? It's so cute. I love this tote. There's no such thing as too many books. That's so true. So I want to actually start off with the books that I wasn't too crazy about. Magnolia Parks being one of them. I thought I was actually going to really enjoy Magnolia Parks because I think Magnolia Parks has its cult following. I mean, there are people that love Magnolia Parks. I just got really tired of seeing the same struggles happen over and over. I thought it was entertaining, but I really didn't enjoy it that much. So there's that. Another book that I think super popular, okay? Look, I think the writing for this was beautiful. It felt like poetry. I absolutely would read another book by this writer. I just thought it was drawn out. I think my biggest knock was not feeling the emotional connection that was depicted in the story. I found the pace not super engaging and I felt pretty underwhelmed. That's not to say it's a horrible read. It was still a solid 3-star just because the writing is beautiful. I know this was a very popular book, so that's definitely gonna be an unpopular opinion, but that's how I felt about The Song of Achilles. The other book that I wanted to talk to y'all about was Alice Feeney, His and Hers. Now, I actually really enjoyed that book. I gave it a 4-star. It had the dual point of views of a journalist and also the detective and how they were entangled in a murder case. I had a few suspects in mind and I even predicted some of the twists. If you've never read an Alice Feeney book, there's gonna be more than one twist at the very end. The final ending I did not see coming, like at all. I loved the pace of it, and again, deep twists in this one. Then you have just like some of the tropes in here, small town secrets, unreliable narrators, dual point of view, a really good psychological thriller. If you are into psychological thrillers and you haven't read this book, I would recommend that you check that one out. The other book that I listened to a few weeks back is called The Wife Upstairs by Freida McFadden. Since The Housemaid, I haven't found a Freida McFadden book that I have thoroughly been able to enjoy. Unfortunately, The Wife Upstairs did not do it for me. It's a psychological thriller following Sylvia Robinson, who's hired to care for Victoria Barnett, one successful woman now confined to home after a debilitating accident. So I think if I hadn't read Verity and The Housemaid, I would have enjoyed this a little bit more because I was able to predict a lot of the twists. Just like with Freida McFadden, I do think this is a very fast read. If you had a day or two, you could absolutely finish this book in no time. You get really hooked and you want to learn what happens next. Freida McFadden does that very well. It wasn't one of my favorites. I still gave it 3.5 stars because I thought it was a fun, entertaining read, but definitely not one of my favorites. The other book that I wanted to talk to y'all about is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonam-Young. What can I say about this? I think you can read Out of the Woods without reading Out on a Limb, but I would say to read Out on a Limb between the 2 books. Out of the Woods, it's following Sarah and Caleb's journey. It also has dual tenses. They're talking about real relationship issues, which I can appreciate, but the pace is kind of slow. Sarah's frustrations with Caleb and her relationship start to feel repetitive. I think it was a fun read, and I think one thing about this book, this is why I gave it a 3.75, is I really enjoyed the banter, and I think Hannah Bonam-Young is funny. Like, she's super witty, and so I like that about her writing, but I still think it was a great palate refresher. Now, I will say that I loved Out on a Limb, so if you haven't read that book, I would highly recommend reading Out on a Limb. Okay, now I promise I have some good ones. I think these have been sort of my mediocre reads, basically. I have some good ones. I got some 4 and 5-star reads, I promise. Thank you for bearing with me. I have the rest of my 4 and 5-star reads here with me, and I wanted to show y'all and talk through it with y'all. And then I also have some books in here that I plan on reading in the month of April. So that's what we're gonna go through. I think I may have talked about this book in the previous video, and I had started it. This is Shari Lapena, or Shari Lapena, and this is someone we know. I really enjoyed this. It was a fast-paced, full of drama, small town neighborhood type of vibe. It definitely keeps you guessing, and if you're new to the genre, I think this would be such a solid read. What I really appreciate about this writer, now this is my first book by Shari Lapena, I like how she just dives right into it. There's no build up or anything like that. I did find some of it predictable, but I think if you're new to thrillers, you might not find this predictable. I was able to guess the ending to a degree, but I still think this was like a classic whodunit. So if you like those whodunit type of stories with twists, this is like Suburban Secrets. It's really interesting. If you've read anything else by this writer, let me know what's worth picking up. I gave this a 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. Okay, next book, I really enjoyed this. I did not think that I was gonna enjoy this the way that I did. I absolutely adored this book. I ate it up and I finished it so quickly. This is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Y'all, very good storytelling. That's one thing that this lady knows how to do really well. Even the trope itself, which is kind of like second chance romance or even kind of like a love triangle, you could say. It's not like your typical love triangle. There was some real dilemmas in this book. I don't want to give anything away. I was not expecting to really love this book. I gave it 5 stars, y'all. I did give this one 5 stars because I thought the storytelling was so good. And that's all I'm gonna say. I think I finished this in like 2 days max. So good. Highly recommend that y'all check this out. I know one of my friends on here, I know you're a big TJR fan, and so I'm looking into the other reads. Thank you so much for sending me those recommendations. I'm definitely on it. It's a priority, I promise, but I know you haven't read this one yet, so I'm here to tell you, girl, go ahead. Read this book. Read this book. All right, I have another mystery thriller for you because if I did not have another thriller for y'all, who would I be, okay? I am still pretty much in the middle of reading this book, and it's interesting. It's called Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. It's a dark mystery. It's covering topics of missing children to self-harm. So if those are triggers for you, I would be mindful before diving in. I have been enjoying this book. I haven't read anything else by Jennifer Hillier, but I might be curious to try out something else. The way it's going, it's feeling like a solid 4. It's kind of early to say, but I think I'm at least 70% into the book. I do have some theories. I have some theories about who is responsible for certain things happening. We'll see how it goes, and I'll keep y'all posted. So that does conclude all of the books that I have read, finishing up for the month of March. I do want to show y'all the books that I plan on reading in April. This one's a thick book called Say You Swear by Meagan, Brandy. I honestly don't know why I picked this up. I think it may have come up on Book Talk. Her brother's best friend broke her heart, but what happens when his new teammate wants to put it back together? They say first loves last forever. I hope they're wrong. I have 0 expectations. This could be a good palate refresher for me though. Hopefully I can get to that in the month of April. I'm really excited about diving into Hello Beautiful by Napolitano. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Can love make a broken person whole? It's a story of family and friendship, of how the people we are bound to can also set us free. But if you're new here, you don't know this, I like to go into books semi-blind and really not try to dive into what it's all about. I will say that this did come recommended from a friend, and we have similar tastes. I trust her opinion. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it might be a good one. And it's a thick book. I would love to hear what y'all are currently reading. Did you have any 4 or 5-star reads in the past month or so? What are you loving? What do you not love? I want to hear about those too. Like, I want to hear everything. I will be going on vacation in about 3 weeks, so I need some really good beach reads. I need the perfect type of book that you can just hang out on the beach all day, sit with a book, and just chill. Those are the type of recommendations that I need from y'all, please. It could be any genre, to be honest. Okay, if you love it, I'm sure I will enjoy it. I will look into it. And that really concludes this video. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, but still keep y'all updated on what I have going on in the book world. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and I will catch y'all very, very soon. Thank you so much, and see you later. Bye.